17 days after Bill Gates handed Microsoft to Steve Ballmer, the dot-com bubble burst. The next decade produced a now mythic culture of fiefdoms and stacked rankings, fanning the flames of internal competition while cooling innovation. When Satya Nadella took over in 2014, he cut thousands of employees and began a plan to ramp up Agile from a few pockets to the majority of the immense corporation. The entire business world took focus on Nadella, all wondering the same thing: would Agile work at Microsoft? Under Steve Ballmer, the Microsoft business had remained firmly focused on exploiting Windows licensing.
They had a phrase at Microsoft called protect the socket, which was really about making sure that no matter what we did, we always protected Windows Server at the core. You could build on top of that if you got them to use ASP.NET and SQL Server and IIS Web Server, then they would be using Windows Server. And so really that was the intention, was never let them use anything besides Windows.
For the past several years, competition had been heating up as fast, agile structured firms moved in on software markets where Microsoft had been dominating for years.
We had a roadmap that went from the summer of 2011 basically to the launch in early summer 2012. And it was quite easy to be waterfall and not be agile when you're that far behind the competition, because your roadmap is essentially your competitor's website. It's very clear all the features and functionalities that you don't have.
Nadella realized that a major transformation was required to keep Microsoft competitive. He began a sweeping organizational change, and he started with the leadership team. He continued the transformation by inviting founders of companies recently acquired by Microsoft to executive retreats, a move not welcomed by all execs. And he started his push for Agile.
You were able to see your changes go into production, so your customers could also see your changes. And I think it also improved just our general velocity of work, but it did take some getting used to.
To navigate the unknown, management provided broad guidelines, and employees were urged to work autonomously and trust their gut feeling.
In all, it had a positive impact on all the work that everyone was doing. It helped improve the quality of work, it helped improve getting changes out to clients and customers, so that was well received as well. And personally, I really, really like the Agile model.
Leadership was getting on board, and Agile was expanding. But Microsoft was about to undergo its biggest change yet. To convey his message, Nadella penned a letter to all employees. In one quick phrase, Nadella described what had gone wrong at Microsoft and what needed to change: the culture.
Satya Nadella, when I was at Microsoft, was the head of the server and tools division, which I was a part of. And I was lucky enough to be at the very forefront of some of his changing ideas and thoughts. So I talked about how the whole company was structured, or at least server and tools, the main focus had really been about protecting the socket of Windows Server. And for the first time in that Windows Azure group, you saw this openness to other technologies and other platforms, because we started to realize we were just going to completely lose them as customers if we didn't try to offer other technologies that were more flexible or open source technology.
Microsoft was a dominant player in the software industry. Its need to change wasn't immediately obvious and was fraught with challenges. But through changes in leadership, adopting Agile at scale, and rebuilding their culture, Microsoft transformed itself into a leading platform and productivity company that is strategically agile. Today, Microsoft is a magnet for top engineering talent and an organization others seek out to create and use agile methodologies, helping them transform and become agile themselves.